Kamalika, I just want us to focus now on the second aspect. So, Sheikh Shah Jahan, the High Court coming down heavily on the TMC government. Kamalika, who knows where Sheikh Shah Jahan is? Yesterday, we had a TMC leader on our show, and he said that the BJP leader Suvendu Adhikary has said that he knows where Sheikh Shah Jahan is. Riju Datta from the TMC said, then why don't we share the location? Why doesn't the BJP share the location with the ED? Does anyone actually know where Sheikh Shah Jahan is? Kamalika, what do your sources tell you?
See, Sheikh Shah Jahan's brother told us that he's somewhere here. But where this here is, that nobody knows. The fact that he's very much active, I'll again take you to the barricade because there seems to be some activity out there. And the BJP, they are trying to break the barricade. I think there is a scuffle between the BJP MLAs and the police. The showdown again. As you can see that there is a complete showdown scuffle between the police and Suvendu Adhikary and the entire BJP MLA. They are trying to break the barricade. You can see that they are trying to break the barricade and you can see that this is the situation on ground. The BJP MLA is headed by Suvendu Adhikary. They tried to go and they have been allowed. That's what we get, that they have been allowed. Suvendu Adhikary is going to Sandeshkhali finally, because we see that there was a scuffle and now you can see that Suvendu Adhikary, as you can see, has got, the police finally has allowed Suvendu Adhikary.
Now if he wants, he can take a ferry and go directly to the island of Sandeshkhali. So here, Suvendu Adhikary and the MLA, they spoke to police. There was a little bit of scuffle, and after that, you can see straight away, police finally allowed Suvendu Adhikary to go to Sandeshkhali. And here you can see that Suvendu Adhikary and the entire team is trying to move to the gate, and he is going to Sandeshkhali. So after the third attempt, Suvendu Adhikary on his way to Sandeshkhali from here. Sandeshkhali. So this is security before you are going. So court order. He's heading towards Sandeshkhali. This is his third attempt. Finally,
Okay, Kamalika, we'll just come back to you in a second. Let me just bring our audience's context on everything that's been at play, how the TMC has been responding. So as we told you, this is a story that's been playing out since early January, when the ED first sent its team right in the beginning of January to investigate at the home of Sheikh Shah Jahan, the TMC leader right at the center of this. Sheikh Shah Jahan is considered the bhai or the kingpin in this entire region. He's a legislator in the region. Now, what are the allegations against him that locals and villagers are making? They are saying, number one, the allegation of land grabbing. There is an allegation that Sheikh Shah Jahan and his henchmen forced locals on the ground, forced farmers not to grow certain crops, instead to rear fish and other commodities. That was number one. That's accusation number one. And this, to some degree, seems to be the most vast accusation. with hundreds coming forward over the weekend. The TMC has set up over the weekend booths on the ground where locals can come and lodge their complaints, and hundreds apparently coming forward and complaining of land grabbing taking place. The second complaint made against Sheikh Shah Jahan and his crony men, those who work with him, is this allegation that they were forcing villagers into forced labor, essentially exploitation. They were making villagers do work for less money than they were promised. The third is that of harassment. This is an allegation coming forward primarily from the women. The women have alleged, for example, that they were called into meetings that were taking place late in the night. They were just made to stand, and the manner in which they were being spoken to was indicative, according to them, of harassment. Now, more seriously, over the last few days, there have also now been 2 allegations of rape that have been filed. Those are also being investigated. This is a quick summary of everything that has been said against Sheikh Shah Jahan and the 2 henchmen. Now, the 2 henchmen, I'm calling them henchmen, they are TMC legislators, Shibu Hazra, Uttam Sardar. Uttam Sardar was the first to be taken into custody. A few days ago, you had Hazra also taken, Shibu Hazra also taken into custody. Now, the first person we just spoke about, Uttam Sardar, he has been formally suspended from the TMC. However, the second person we just spoke about, Shibu Hazra and Sheikh Shah Jahan, neither of them have been suspended from the TMC till now. And that's really where the BJP is targeting them, the CPIM is targeting them. They're saying, when there is so much already, why have we not had Sheikh Shah Jahan, who has till now been suspended? Now, this other question, where is Sheikh Shah Jahan? He went absconding in the early week of January itself. There are multiple different accounts as to where he could be. Relatives of his say that he is still in the region, as our colleague Kamalika just told you. Relatives saying he's not anywhere else, he's still in the region, he's not crossed the border at all. The ED saying they aren't being able to find him. This question of whether or not he is being protected, and if so, why? That remains a key question in this entire story. Now, we're going to return to the ground for a second. Multiple investigations as we speak are taking place on the ground. As we told you, the headline perhaps is the National Commission for Women. They sent their head, Rekha Sharma. She was on the ground yesterday, and she's coming to the ground after 2 of her workers have already travelled to the ground last week and put out a report. In that report, the National Commission for Women said there was systematic abuse taking place, and in fact, they went so far as to say that the police and government administrators were complicit in this. So that's the very strong language that was used in that report. Rekha Sharma herself, as we told you, travelled on the ground yesterday. She seemingly doubled down on this. Now, when we've had TMC legislators on the show, what have they had to say? Mamta Banerjee, and this is actually a clip of hers that's gone viral since, she in a reaction said that this is a minor issue being blown out of proportion. What have other TMC leaders said? TMC leaders have now, so yesterday itself, TMC leaders came forward, they were on our show, they said, yes, some mismanagement seemingly has taken place, but they're still not, it seems, admitting to the 2 rape complaints that have come in particular. Now, there are still some other gaps in terms of how the TMC is responding to this. As we told you, number 1 gap, the suspensions. They're not acting on any suspension against Sheikh Shah Jahan. Let's go over right now to our colleague Kamalika to understand more on this entire story. Kamalika, one of the things you've told us, and let me just tell our audiences visuals right now of, I believe, the BJP leader Suvendu Adhikary crossing the river. Sandeshkhali is on an island. Let me just tell our audiences that piece of context, just for them to understand the visuals we're looking at. Sandeshkhali is an island. Kamalika, if we could just come back to you to bring us more context on this entire story. Just as we look at these visuals of these leaders en route to Sandeshkhali, tell our audiences, when locals come up to you and tell you that these are charges they've been making not for 5 years or 6 years, but 10 years, how does the TMC tell you they've been responding?
Definitely, as you can see, Suvendu Adhikary on his way to Sandeshkhali. This is the biggest development after 3 times. This is 3rd time where, with the court permission, he's been allowed inside Sandeshkhali. We are on the Dhamakhali river, through which via ferry is going to Sandeshkhali. Now, as far as the allegations are concerned, as you were questioning, that Suvendu Adhikary, the people, the local people have come and they have spoken to their time and again, and they have been saying that the situations were not good and police did not help. Suvendu Adhikary going there, they feel that
Okay, we'll try to re-establish our connection with our colleague Kamalika. But why is this such a big story? The BJP has not been allowed to visit the ground in multiple different cases over the last few days, ever since this story first broke, which is why we're covering this visual, this set of stories right